everyone. Welcome to our discussion of A Dawn of Onyx. um, April and I did find out that we have the first edition, and when we were tandem reading it has been edited a little bit, so the audio didn't always match up with the book, but I found it okay to follow along. It wasn't um it was different. There were just some parts, like, the descriptions were edited a little bit, but, let us know that you're here, and, if you finished the book, leave a black heart if you finished the book, and if you didn't finish the book, what should I do? Leave a flower?
Yeah, there you go.
Leave a flower if you didn't finish the book, and then, when we see everybody that's here and get to talking, we'll let you know if you didn't finish before we start talking about spoilers. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty easy book to follow through. Pretty easy if you want to get into fantasy. I thought it was not super complicated to understand. I thought her writing was pretty simple, and I like that the next 2 books of the series are coming out this year, so we don't have to wait that long.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like it wasn't like a ton of world building, so that was nice. Not having to learn like a whole bunch of different rules and all that. So,
Yeah, and I felt like even without, like, the world building, there was a lot towards the end, but it wasn't, like, super confusing because a lot of times at the
yeah,
beginning of the fantasy, I'm like, "I have no idea what anything means."
right.
And so I just roll with it, and then everything falls together, and, like, it was like that, but I felt like it wasn't super in the dark.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the way I took it anyways.
Yeah.
Um Hey Keisha, so happy to hang out tonight. First time reading the book and being able to join for the discussion. We're so thankful you're
Yeah.
here. Keisha read it. Awesome. Hey Yvette, excited to hang out and discuss. So glad you read it. Hi Heather. Hey Jess, the emoji for haven't read here, just here to support. Yeah, we appreciate it. You can do a flower, do whatever. Hey girl. Um, yeah, so we'll get into discussing this now. So, Jess, if you want to stay and learn about it, otherwise we're gonna have some spoilers for everybody. Um, I had a decent amount of questions, and then I don't know. Really feel like I could get into a lot. Like we could really start getting into conspiracies if we want. I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of just rolling with it for fantasy. Might not know what's going on for 60%, but that's fine. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
But I felt like this one definitely didn't the beginning, even though I was like, "I don't really understand how it works," it didn't seem overly complicated.
Hmm.
"Hey, I'm here having a margarita and dinner, but I'm here." Awesome. Wendy, were you able to finish it on time? I know you were trying really hard. Um We will get with our first question. I figured we would save the ratings for the end, so maybe might change some minds. So, let's describe the aesthetic. So I personally
You got.
thought, like, if I need a fantasy, like, this aesthetic is everything I want. It to
Hmm.
me has, like, the whimsy, gothic, just I don't know, like, is it medieval times or, like, Renaissance times-ish? It's kind of hard to know, but, they don't really have, like, technology and stuff, and
Right.
that's very much my vibes. I love, like, the whimsy aesthetic, and I love the creatures, the magical, I don't know how to describe it, gothic, medieval-ish.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I did like a dark forest, kind of like the movie School for Good and Evil that's on Netflix, kind of like just real dark forest kind of feeling, and then a dark castle, kind of like Outlander. So like dark castles,
Ooh.
I just pictured like stone, big stone castles, all the hallways they were going through. That's kind of what I pictured. Super dim lighting. Um, I don't know, just kind of like not dark fantasy, but like dark as in like dim kind of fantasy. Like,
Well, and it was kinda cool how the different territories had different aesthetics too,
yeah.
kinda get
What the balloons? What is with
I'm
the hands and balloon? I don't.
that's my April Fools, it's my trick apparently I'm pulling today.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, but, like,
Mm,
the different territories, I liked how they each had different aesthetics
yeah.
too, how, where she was from had, like, more of autumn vibes, and then, Peridot,
Mhm.
heard it
Yeah.
both ways, how that was a little bit more, like, Mediterranean, tropical, like, that was cool too. I liked that we got, like, different, uh, vibes from that.
Yeah.
Um, ooh, hang on. I shall stay and learn. I love to hear what they were like and seeing if I'd like it. Good to know. There
Yeah.
might be spoilers, but if you're like me, you might forget a whole chunk in a week. So I finished Sunday morning. I got through it in 2 days. That is super impressive.
That's awesome.
I'm a fan of more medical fantasy fantasy than urban, medieval. I know what you mean. Autocorrect doesn't doesn't,
Hey, it
like
kind of
us.
works though because, she was a healer, so
She
medical fantasy works too.
Yeah, there was, like, that magical healing vibes,
Yeah,
so it
works.
was medicinal and black and dark purple everywhere, like, everything was coated in black and dark purple when I was reading creepy gothic fairy tale. Yes, what is the new book that I see everybody reading? And I saw it at Barnes& and Noble, and it was, like, jet black and, like, purple sprayed edges, like, Goth Gothina or
Oh,
Gothicanica.
I just saw that. Yeah, got
Yeah,
think got
that's when they were describing that, I was like, I feel like these would be very similar, aesthetics, landscape, everything. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, that's how I pictured it too. Um, and just like tall ceilings and pillars and the
Mhm.
dungeons I pictured really like pitch black, you could barely see anything. Kinda creepy vibes. I like the spooky gothic vibes. I really loved
Mhm.
it. It was a quick read and kept my interest.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yes, medieval. I knew what you meant. I pictured that, like, Renaissance, medieval, dark. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, at first, I didn't know if it was kind of like when I was reading it, I was like, it kinda gives me Hunger Games vibes, because I didn't know, like, maybe some of the territories were more
Mm,
technological and some were, like, far
yeah,
behind, but then it was kinda cool that, like, you go to, the kingdom, of Onyx, and it was really lush and extravagant as in, yeah, more medieval times.
like regal kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it gave me
Yeah,
Outlander vibes. She was a healer too. I
yep,
do agree with that. I
yep,
thought about that as well.
yeah.
Gothicanica.
Gothic
Goth
Gothic
Gothicana?
Hannah. Gothic Hannah?
I wanna add an extra, s uh, extra vowels in there. Yeah, something like that. I bought it because it was so pretty. I picked it up, put it down, picked it up, put it down, and then, I saw a couple of my friends reading it. I'm like, "Dang it, I'm gonna have to go get that one." Um, okay, so, let's go with, like, what was your favorite character? Um, I think one of the reasons I really enjoyed this book was I found the characters to be super likable, well, for the most
Yeah,
part. You either loved them or you hated them.
right. Mhm.
Um, and I really liked Arwen. I really, like, with, like, her, mental health and panic attacks and self-esteem, like, I really resonated with her character. Um, I also really liked M was it Mari, the
Mhm.
friend? I really enjoyed her.
Mhm.
Um, it kinda reminds me of, like, when you have a introverted person and an extroverted person, and the extroverted person gets the introverted person out, and I really liked their friendship together, so those were probably besides Kane, I'm always a sucker for
Mhm.
the male lead most of the time, um, so I have to say I really enjoyed the women. I also really liked Kane and the touch her and I'll kill you vibes that he gave.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, Mari was her best friend. I loved her. I loved their friendship. I loved their it just felt like a true friendship. Like mine and yours, mine and Liz's, my friend from Florida, just it just felt like such a true friendship. And like they called each other on their crap. They, joked with each
Yeah,
other, teased each other.
and it was, like, natural, like, it never felt forced.
Mm.
When Arwen asked Mari to help her, she's like, "There are 3 things I love in this world: reading, a challenge, and proving others wrong." I was like, "I love her. I'm sold.
Yeah.
She's my favorite." That's that's hilarious.
Yep. And then of course, I liked Kane and Arwen. I mean, their
Mhm.
banter and their flirting and his protectiveness, like you said.
The banter. Oh, that's
The banter was
literally, like, all I
amazing.
could think the entire time was the banter. That's
Yes.
like, I would
Yeah,
just describe this whole book, the banter.
right.
I
Yep,
loved it.
yep. And even Doggin or Dagon or whatever, I think they in the audiobook, they pronounce it Doggin, but,
Mhm.
um, he was awesome. I loved him. He's just awesome. Great she had great characters in the book.
Yeah, I felt like so many of them were lovable for different things and that they all
Yes.
had such unique personalities. Yeah, Doggin, I loved how he was such a
Mm.
grumpy old guy, but like, finding out, like, his story, I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh,
"Oh
I
my
know.
gosh, I love him
Mhm.
even more now," and
Yeah.
I just thought it was really cool how in, like, not a super long book, she was able to
Mhm.
create, to me, pretty complex stories of these characters. And, like, they just all had their own personalities that stood out, that it didn't feel like they were all similar.
Yeah. Yep.
Um I was super excited when a dragon was brought into the story. Yes! Yes, yes. I didn't expect who the dragon was in the end, though, at all. Agreed.
I didn't either.
I didn't see
Mhm.
that coming at all.
Nope,
Um,
nope.
I I was kinda disappointed that it was him, but I kinda liked how it fit in
Right.
the story. I just was like, "Dragons? There's
Right.
dragons?" And then I was like, "Oh, technically he's not, but he is."
Mhm.
Like, so I thought
Yeah.
that was cool because it's so different, and then, like, Griffin was a griffin, like,
Right.
because she was like, and when she was like original, I
Yeah.
kinda felt like they had
Yeah.
modern banter and jokes with, like,
Yes.
the medieval vibes, and I love when stories do that, when they bring, like, the now present with the old fashioned. Love that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I liked Arwen the most. Yeah, I really enjoyed her character. I relate to it so much. So many of the quotes that people said about her, I felt like this is me.
Mhm.
My favorite characters were Mari and Dog, and yep. They were just great, and, like, for
Sure.
side characters that weren't in the book a ton, I thought she did a really good job at building their relationships and their characters.
Yeah. I mean, pretty crazy for us to all bring out side characters as our favorite characters instead of just the 2 main ones. So,
Ye
good on her.
Why am I blanking on this?
They were, I remember a little bit,
Oh,
we've both had a very busy week, so our brains are kinda fried.
no, I read this last week, and there's a reason, even though, like, I remember big parts, I feel like there are huge, just, like, plot holes I am missing that I'm like, "I read this and I loved it," and my brain just was like, "Nope, you don't need it. You didn't need it in your brain." Um, they were in the forest, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I had to
Tell us
Google
what
what it was.
tell us what you liked about the chimeras. How
Yeah,
about that?
okay. Yeah, because they were, um fighting and saving her and everything. Yeah, I
Mhm.
was because I was like, "What are they again?" And I Googled them and I'm like, "Oh, yes. Yes, yes." And I like that. I like when there's more, like, mythical creatures. It kinda reminds me of, Narnia and just, like, how there's all these different creatures and, um, mythical beings and all these different magic systems. Okay, I forgot names at this point, but the guy who trained her was my favorite. Yeah, Doggin.
Yeah. Mhm.
He was really great. I didn't like, at first, I was like, "Oh, no, this guy's gonna be a problem," and then the fact that he trained her and, like, his story and then their relationship, how it grew, I really loved him.
Mhm.
I can't stay because I didn't read the book yet, but stopping to say hi and hit the like button. Thank you so much, Katie. I hope you finish it soon and you like it. Full
Um,
transparency, the side characters made the story for me. I really liked them, and it kind of sounds like in the next book that we're gonna get more of Griffin and Mari and maybe like their relationship down the road. Um, Even her siblings I really liked. I liked Ryder
mhm.
and Lee.
Yeah,
I also really liked her mom.
yeah. Her mom was
Um,
sweet.
I felt like the shape-shifting thing was really random. I was not prepared for that. Yeah, I think that's where, like, there was no world building, and then all of a sudden we're like, "I didn't know that was possible." Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that definitely threw me off as well, and did feel like it was a little bit out there, but, I'm curious to see how that plays out
Mhm.
going forward. I was screaming at the end when they were changing, best part. Yeah, I thought it was really cool on, like, what they decided to change into and how they did. I love the dragon shape shifting. I know, like, wouldn't that be cool to be able to change into a
Oh my
dragon?
gosh. Yes, that'd be amazing.
But I agree, I was not expecting that whatsoever. She ran the one into the water and it almost died. She rescued it, then the other saved her. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was also kinda confused though because I liked that it then tried to save her, but the whole reason that almost died was because of her, so I was like, "It doesn't really fit," like, I realized they were both, like she was trying to go after the plant, and then, like, they went after her, and she tricked them, and then she, like, tried to kill them, but then she saved it, and then so they saved her, and I was like, "Well, really, this all would have been avoided if they hadn't attacked her and she hadn't tricked them, but, you know. But
Mhm.
it was kinda cool how, like, in such a quick little scene, it
Mhm.
showed how she was gonna do what was right, and she was like, "I'm a healer, I'm going to save, I'm not going to let um, this creature die."
Yeah.
Um, Thought she had to defeat them, but save them, and then they guarded her from harm. Yeah, it was just kinda cool. I also just thought it was kind of weird at first, but I did like it. I wasn't expecting it. I guess that's, like, the biggest thing.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere for me. If we don't all agree on who we dislike, we are no longer friends. Do we need to
Then I'm
do
not
who
saying
we don't
anything.
like?
I'm not risking my friendship, so I'm not saying a word.
Not gonna
I don't like
say.
confrontation.
Um, okay. I don't know what order. I thought I had a rhyme or reason for this, but what was your favorite quote? I guess I was just like, let's do favorites. Um,
Yeah.
I liked um hang on, I gotta find it. I should have just wrote it down. Um, I liked the "No bird, you're stronger than any of us. It's only you who doesn't think so." I liked that
Oh,
one.
that's good. Mm.
Um, I also like the "Who did this to you?"
He did this too. Yes. He said that a couple times too. It was like that like his thing, and I've seen that everywhere, like that's like a trope or whatever. And I was like, that's awesome. That literally he says it.
There's another one I really liked that oh, this isn't like the whole quote, but it's like, "There is a wild strength inside of you, and you are enough." I mean, we
Yeah,
all heard "you are enough," but, like, hearing it all together, like, there's something about, like, a wild strength inside you. I just thought that was so
yeah,
pretty, and I highlighted it too because 'cause I'm like, that's an interesting way to, like, describe strength, like wild
yeah,
strength, and it's like,
yeah,
is there? Because we know she has this power, so it's like there's this power inside of her that she doesn't even know how to control, what she can control, and I just thought that was really, like, a pretty way of describing it.
yeah. I had that one highlighted as one of my favorite ones too. And then uh also when Doggin was talking to her, he said, there is only true courage in facing what frightens you. What you call fear is indeed power, and you can wield it for good. Like
Yes,
you can take that fear that's inside you and use it as fuel to be powerful. That was just super cool. And then we all have demons. What defines us is how we choose to face them. So kind of the
yes.
same thing. So, and that was from our lovely friend Doggin.
I know, there were I feel like I could have just been highlighting every chapter.
Hmm.
Um, I also liked it in the beginning when she was talking about herself and she's like, "Unlike Ryder, I cried all the time. I cried when Lee made me laugh too hard. I cried when I saw my mother in pain. I cried at the end of a great book or when I heard a beautiful harmony. I cried when I lost a patient at the infantry. I cried when I felt overwhelmed. It was the least brave quality to be sensitive and fearful and full of tears." That
That's
hit me hard.
mhm.
Like, that's in the beginning of the book, and I'm a crier, and I've been constantly told my whole life how that's weakness, that's pain, like, you're too emotional and all of that. So, like, to have a character who feels the same way that you're so emotional, and then to be able to, like, use those emotions with strength and everything, uh, I loved that. I highlighted that whole paragraph.
That's awesome.
April.
I'm telling you, I can't. I'm not doing it. You have to say it first. You have to give your answer first, and then I'll answer.
I don't remember quotes. That was the first thing I read in March. Yeah, if I didn't have the book right in front of me, I didn't remember either. But I just remember like reading a lot and being like, "Oh my gosh." Just felt like she had a way with words, even without overcomplicating it. Like
Mhm.
some things that we've heard over and over, she would just state it differently. And I'm like, I needed to hear that. And it fit well with what she was talking about.
Mhm.
But I have an ick quote. I was furious with the man, so furious, but I also wanted to lick his neck. Yeah, that that was a little different. Along those lines, not ick, but, something that I thought was really cool, because oh, I found another quote I did like from the mom. She said, "I'm so lucky to have you as my daughter. The world is a better place seen through your eyes." I liked that one.
Aw. Mhm.
No, it's not an ick one, but I cannot find it now. Oh, I liked the "pressed like one of the flowers in my books under his delicious weight." The
Oh
only
my god.
reason the only reason I found that really perfect is I literally had just gotten a flower press, and I literally have flowers pressed in there, and I was like,
Oh my god.
how does she know this?" Like, and then I was like, "I've never thought of it that way."
Nope. Nope, wouldn't have thought of that.
I just like it was like, how does this author, like, know so many things in my life? Like, not that, but
That's awesome.
yeah, licking yeah, that was a little out there. Keisha's
Oh.
not about licking.
Like Nikki.
Neck licking.
Yeah.
That's my daily repertoire.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I bet.
Yeah, I don't you don't lick necks every day? Whenever I'm mad, I wanna lick 'em.
Wait, obviously.
I was gonna say
Oh
maybe
my
bite,
goodness.
not lick.
Right.
I was cracking a lot I was
Yes.
cracking up a lot throughout the whole book, all the witty banter, I loved it. Yeah, there was some stuff that I just was, like, laughing at, I was, like, kicking my feet, I was snorting at,
Yeah.
I don't some of the banter was really witty, I really liked it, just fair warning, I'm gonna swear, where she was, like right in the beginning, where she was like, "Did I say prick? I meant bastard, vile
Oh,
bastard."
yeah.
I was
Oh
just
god.
like, I don't know, like, that's just, like, stuff that I would say in my head too, like, "Mm, I take that back. You're worse."
I take
Like,
it back.
and I don't know, I liked her writing, it was a lot
Yeah.
more vulgar than I was expecting it to be, like, that doesn't really bother me, because even though, like, this book wasn't spicy, you can tell that the next one is going to be spicy,
Yeah.
but I guess I wasn't expecting that, at all, but I also wasn't expecting them to, like, swear so much and all of that as well, which to me, if as long as it's not overkill and it fits, then I'm fine with it. And I thought she did a good job at not swearing too much or being over the top. Um, and I thought like the instances where she did like call people bastards, they deserved it. So
Well, and, it wasn't, like, overly used, so, like, there's way worse, books that I've read.
And Keisha will not be reading the next book for that reason, but we tried. Yeah,
Hey,
I did not expect, I did not know that it was gonna go that route. Um,
well, and the good thing is, Keisha, I mean, I don't know about you, but I would feel satisfied to stop here. the cliffhanger is a cliffhanger, but I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to have the next book like tomorrow because I don't have the whole story. Like, I feel like this was an okay, like, book. I mean, just to stop, you know?
Yeah, I like because it's open-ended, but at the same time,
Yeah.
a lot happened. You figured a lot out. I'm assuming I don't know, like, some stuff feels like it's gonna be kinda obvious, but I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting people to be able to shape shift into different creatures,
Yeah.
so who knows? Um, I was less annoyed by the swearing and more annoyed by the bleeding stones. We get it, you made up a catchphrase. See, that to
That's
me doesn't bother me because it's like, "Oh my god," like, it's like the equivalent or like cauldron boil me. So to me, it's like it shows like their world version of like saying blasphemy essentially. Um, so like that doesn't bother me, but it's also weird because it's like, why are the stones bleeding?
well,
Like,
well, and every time it was in there, so my mind is song lyrics and movie quotes. So every time I saw it, for some reason, I can't think of what movie it's in, but it's like bleeding hearts of the world unite. That's like all I could hear every time I read that.
that's funny. I knew there was gonna be a couple of spice scenes. I was warned, so I didn't go in blind. I just wanted to know because I remembered Jordan and Caitlin enjoying it. Yes. I know, I guess that's why I wasn't expecting, the spice it was, but,
It
spice
was
doesn't bother me, so
the quote is from The Grinch. Bleeding hearts of the world unite. That's why I knew that. I'm like, what movie is that from? Anyways.
that's funny. Bleeding stones. I kinda just wanna make a whole, like, "Cauldron boil me, bleeding stones." Oh, I know there's another one that I just read, and, like, just have, like, a whole list of all of them.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It was reminiscent of Peter Pan constantly saying "core." It was too repetitive for me. Yeah, I
Yeah,
felt
it
like
was
it didn't have to be said so much, and the fact that, like, there was a lot of times didn't, like, the mom correct her and be like, "Don't say that," and it's like, "Okay, we don't need to say it every time."
right. Yeah.
Sailor
Oh,
Moon, April? Oh.
yeah. That would be definitely something that Sailor Moon would do.
Okay. Now, this one was a little bit different. Um, what song would you put on a playlist or songs make you, like, think of this book? Like, I thought that would be cool because like, now so many people make playlists for books.
Yeah.
So I have a few that are kinda, like, generic of my, like, they fit most of my bookish romantasy ones, but Morley Gray by April yeah, it's Jai. She's on TikTok, and it's with Nation Haven. I
Mm.
prefer that version. I also thought, Work Song by Hozier and Stay by Rihanna. Those were ones
Okay.
that I was thinking of. They're on my
Stay,
general
that's
bookish ones.
yeah. I don't necessarily listen to the radio and stuff a lot now anymore. So, but the two songs that came to my mind immediately, these are more Christian songs, but "You Make Me Brave" by Bethel, and then "This Is How I Fight My Battles" was another one, and it's just these aggressive like fighting songs that build your like build you up on the inside. Like "You Make Me Brave," I can sing that from the rooftops, and like I can have the crappiest day in the world, but saying that by "You Make Me Brave," whether you are saying it to Jesus or you're saying it to
Mhm.
your soulmate, like "You Make Me Brave," like that's something that like just immediately came to my mind. But then there is a song on the Dawn of Onyx, one of the Dawn of Onyx playlists on there that says that is a No Light, No Light by Florence and the Machine. That was a really
Mhm.
good one too, I listened to. But the You Make Me Brave and This Is How I Fight My Battles, those are like the two that stuck out the most in my brain.
I love that. I Did Something Bad by Taylor Swift. Yes. I also like I Knew You Were Trouble kept playing in my head too. Like when she was talking
Enchanted
to him.
words, you know.
Yeah. It doesn't fit the plot necessarily, but it fits the vibe. Yeah, I've that's how
Yeah,
I felt with, like, a lot of songs. I'm like, there's not really, like, a song that I felt like fit it perfectly yet.
yeah,
Like, 'cause there's just other songs for other series that I'm like, that just fits that scenario.
yeah.
I couldn't find one specifically for that yet, but I'm
Mhm.
bound and determined. I was gonna say I did something bad too. I know, I was like, I just need to look through all of Taylor's, songs, and I'm sure I
Yeah,
could find some that would really fit. Yeah, You Make Me
yeah.
Brave,
Mhm.
so good. Um, yeah, I've really been getting into playlists, like, afterwards. I can't listen to lyrics while I'm reading. I can listen to, like, instrumental songs,
Mhm.
um, but I've really, like, enjoyed after reading, like, series, like, having playlists and listening to them, like, especially when I'm, like, working out or I need to, like, clean the house and get upbeat about something I don't want to. There's just something about finding, like, good songs that it's like you're reliving the book all over again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones, that's a good one because they never really get it on.
So great.
Yeah, get no satisfaction. That's I
Oh,
um
that's funny.
Casey Musgraves has a song called "Slow Burn." It doesn't
Oh,
necessarily fit, but I was like, "This is slow, 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 slow
mm,
burn."
yep. Mhm.
Um, okay. What twist surprised you the most? I was actually surprised at how many twists there were.
Yeah,
Um, like I don't know why. Like when we meet Kane as a prisoner,
yeah.
I knew he was something more, but I
Right.
didn't I like wanted him to be the king, but I'm like that doesn't really make sense. And then it was the king and I was like, "Hee hee, he's the king." Like it made me
Yeah, right.
really happy. um but I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't I wasn't expecting Kane to be the dragon either, that was a twist.
Yeah.
I feel like there were a lot of twists, and we knew that Arwen had these powers, like, how she had to, like, hide how she healed people, it was like, "Okay, that's a little sus," but I wasn't expecting her to be full fae. Like,
Right.
I wasn't expecting that, but I do like that she even though it's kind of looking back now, it's predictable that she's
Mhm.
like, it's her fate, like, this was a fated prophecy type thing. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest one was Cain being a dragon, like, because I screamed in chapter 3, "There was a dragon," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh," and I was so excited because there was gonna be dragons, and then there was no dragons throughout the whole book, and I'm like, "What? There was a dragon, like, why are we not talking about dragons? Why are the dragons not talking to us? Like, why bring up a dragon if there are no dragons?" And then he turned into a dragon, I'm like, "Oh." But I
Yeah,
totally didn't see that coming.
well, because then, like, she brought it up and they're like, "Oh, well," because she was, like, looking for it and
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, um, that's there's only, like," and, like, blah, 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 and I was like, "Okay,
okay.
whatever."
A good excuse.
Yvette has the best answers, she does.
Mm.
Dragons. Yeah, first of all, I didn't know there were dragons, period, in this, and then I
No,
was very excited.
yeah. I didn't see that anywhere.
I forgot about Holden, so when they took that bag off his head, yes, and the fact that,
Yeah.
like, when he showed up in the stable too, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh, snap." Um, yeah, because I felt like she did a good job where it was like, "Oh, he'll probably come back somehow," and then when he was there, I was like, I wasn't expecting it. Um
So Keisha, I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I had just finished These Hollow Vows. And so when they took the bag off of Holden's head, I got a flashback of These Hollow Vows, like with that whole thing, with the whole triangle there. And I was like, wait, what book am I reading? Who is this? Is this am I was so confused because I had read them back to back, and that one scene just confused me because of this whole like two guy thing. Oh my gosh. But anyways, I loved These Hollow Vows and I loved Dawn of Onyx. But at that moment, these two books like melded and I was very confused.
Him being the dragon.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really did not see that coming. Or, like, even the
Yeah.
fact that they can, like, shape shift, like, I wasn't expecting that. I wish I could forget about Holden.
Okay, good. I agree with the most disliked character. Whew. It had so
What was
much.
that one guard's name? I did not like him. I was like, "Bye. Bye, be
Oh,
gone."
who was that?
The
I
bad
can't remember
guy
his name.
in the beginning.
Yeah,
I didn't like him.
nope, don't remember.
I know, I couldn't names. I agree, April, there was a dragon, then there were none, yes.
Mhm.
He was trash.
Yes.
It's been a minute since I read these Hollow Vows, so I didn't have the overlap, but that was a great one.
Yeah.
Holden being a bad guy surprised me. I thought he was gonna be annoying. That's God fucking damn it, Dane from Fourth Wing
Oh, yeah.
situation. That's a Fantasy Fangirls podcast reference there. Wendy has big thoughts about Dane. Bert,
Bert.
yes. Did
Yep,
not
that would be
not like him. Did not like
nope,
him.
nope.
He got what he deserved. Also, I wasn't expecting the mom to die. Like, I really was like,
Mm,
all of that?
I
All
know.
of that? And now
All
you're
that
gone?
work, and what did it get me? That's all I
Oh, that was pretty, like, upset about that.
Mhm,
But I had a feeling that someone was going
mhm,
to die, and I guess, like, if I had to pick a character to be okay with,
right,
she was one I was like, "Okay," but I was
yeah.
still sad.
She was already sick, but still sad.
And they just cured her. That's what I was like, "Ugh." Like,
Yeah.
'cause yeah, that's what I was like, all of that with, the chimeras, she, almost died. They had to do all that just for her to die. Like, they were finally reunited,
Right,
all the things.
right.
Um, oh my gosh, I knew for sure she would die, need some drama, yeah, and I felt like, it keeps you on your toes, it didn't make it
Yeah,
too predictable, I did it's not like I liked that happened, but I do like it when it's not overly happy. I don't know, yeah,
mhm,
it gotta have some trauma, I gotta balance it out. I
mhm.
didn't even think she'd be cured. Yeah, I didn't either. So I
I
wonder
thought by the time yeah,
yeah, I
I thought
wonder
by the time they got reunited, she would have died on the road, you
yeah,
know?
so I wonder if that's gonna play into something now, like, the fact that they did find the cure, is that gonna lead to something else? Because that was a huge part of the book was just finding the cure for her
Yeah,
mom, just for her to die.
Right.
Yeah, I bet, Wendy. I cried.
Mhm.
I still, like I just was, like, and then her mom was such a sweet character, like, they had a good relationship, she was looking to get back with him. Yeah, it was a rough one. I
Yeah.
kinda thought they were gonna kill her little sister, and I was like, "I don't let's
Mhm.
not kill children, please. Okay, thank
Right,
you."
right.
Thought she would die 2 seconds before the cure, maybe. Yeah, I
Mm,
also thought, with how close everything was getting that it wasn't gonna work. So, I guess that was another twist, the fact that they were able to
yeah,
cure her
yeah.
just for her to die, but
Yep. Yeah.
um, I'm trying to think,
Mm,
was there any other twist? I guess I really I knew she had to be something more, but I wasn't expecting, like, her to be this whole prophecy, like, full fae, and, like, her mother not even being her mother. I wasn't
yeah,
expecting that.
yeah. I wasn't expecting that either. Like, I could have seen, her dad not being her dad being Faye and her mom,
Yeah,
all that.
that's what I thought,
But
like, when they were talking about, like, percentages and everything, I was like, "Oh, she's
yeah,
gonna be part fairy
right,
because she has these powers," and I knew Cain from the get-go had to be because the way she said he was so tall and handsome and stuff, I'm
right.
like, "Fairy."
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that every fairy fantasy, they all are, like, tall and gorgeous, so I was like, I
Right.
knew that
Yeah.
he was some of it, but then I thought he was
Mhm.
gonna be more than Arwen, so
Yeah.
I hated that she was all of a sudden so afraid of him when he saved her and her sister. Yeah, I feel like I don't remember a lot of, like, the ending because I was kind of, like, surprised by a lot that happened and her reaction. Um, I think I try to always think about, like, what does the character know? So, like, why are they reacting a certain way? Because a lot of people will get, like, annoyed, like, "Oh, I don't like 3rd act breakups. I don't like that kind of thing." But when you think
Yeah,
about she it just feels like she's getting lied to by everybody, even though
yeah,
they're saying certain things. How much do you know when they've been lying to you for months and months and months? It's just like
yeah.
you lose that trust, and when you lose trust and you're even in life and death situations, it's almost, you know, fight or flight, and she's just like, "I'm peacing out,"
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
Did they say for sure her mom wasn't a fairy? I think they tried to say, like, that her mom wasn't really her mom, but we don't really know. We don't, like it was just kind of like, "Well, her mom's gone now. We don't have all the answers. We don't really know what's happening." Um, Because I feel like her siblings would have
Right.
something, or maybe they do and we just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Um, See, I was like, Kane's gotta be Fae, and backed that up with him jumping out of that window and disappearing, but nope, then he's a dragon.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah, and I find it so interesting too. It's kind of like with vampires, vampires in every different vampire book, they have different rules. There's different things they can do, like
Yeah.
all that. And that's kind of where like this is like now fairies are the big thing, and now all the different rules for fairies are different every series. Um,
Mhm.
But yes, ending gave me whiplash. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
not that I didn't like it, I just there were some things that I'm like, I don't know if I'm not supposed to know or if I just need to reread it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that, but she was getting all hot and heavy with him seconds before. I know. Yeah,
Right.
I felt like her reaction to him at the end was a bit intense. I do agree. I just like to play devil's advocate.
Mm.
No, I felt the same way. Um, we can we're almost to the uh that how we want to rate it, because I just wanted to wait till the end to hear what everybody thought about it. Okay, I don't know why this. Sometimes the questions flow easily, and sometimes they kind of jump around. But what did you think about the mental health representation? To me, I really was surprised that there was so much mental health representation. Like, I feel like most of the time, yes, there go like characters go through um conflict, they go through hardship. But I thought it was really cool how, like, right out the get-go, she's having a panic attack,
Mhm.
and it's very apparent, like, she is out of her element. She's like, I can't do this, I'm gonna go crazy. And like how she like described herself as so emotional, all of that. As someone who has anxiety, depression, ADHD, I don't know, I instantly felt I don't know, I just felt connected to Arwen.
I love how your personal life connects with characters differently with other people because, like, where I didn't catch on to that, like mental health representation until the confidence, she didn't have a lot of confidence. So,
Mhm.
which I struggle with. So the you are enough, the like girl, you got a lot of strength in you. You fuel that, use your fear for fuel, all that stuff, which is stuff that I deal with, confidence and questioning myself and not feeling good enough, all of that. That's where I got it from. And so that was really, I really like that too. So it's cool how all of us get different things out of the mental health representation because of different ways we deal with things. So,
Yeah, and I also liked how she could see the good in everybody. She
yeah.
could see the good qualities in everybody else, and she couldn't see that in herself with the whole
Yeah.
confidence. And everyone was like, "Girl, you're amazing. Like, why can't you
Mhm.
see that?" And so, yeah, I related to that too. I also liked it with Kane. Like, he struggles with, like, I I honestly, like, I didn't think he was as, like, morally gray as one would think,
Mhm.
but when it comes to, like, protective, he kinda is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
overly protective. But even, like, his own battles of having to, like, you can't make everyone happy, and, like, sometimes, like, you have to deal with that weight and that pain, and it gets lonely, and the way he dealt with it, and how he just wouldn't have long-term relationships. He would just,
Mhm.
you know, um, have all of these surface level relationships and never connect to anybody.
Yeah.
Um,
And having to
and
be
just
in such high leadership that he had to uphold that and uphold his leadership and sometimes sacrifice his relationships because of it,
yeah, how
which
he
is
put up
hard.
walls and let
Yeah.
himself isolate himself emotionally from people.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um Thanks for his questions later. Um, okay. What no, I don't know why. I thought these, like, all went and, like, made sense in order, now they really don't, but what was a favorite part or scene, if you haven't talked about any yet? I honestly, anytime they were bantering, I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved, like, the scene where, she's, like, having a meltdown in her cell, and he was like, "You are so dramatic." And, like, instantly, he was like, "Oh my gosh, just stop." And I was like, I could just see my husband and like, having
Right.
a, like, whole nervous breakdown, and he's just like, "Wow, really?" And I'm
Right.
just like, "Yes." And I thought that was hilarious. Also, one scene, I don't know why I thought this was the funniest thing ever. Probably because it was just, like, embarrassing and awkward and totally what would happen to me, but the scene where she's trying to listen in on the king talk about his plans, and the guard was with her, and she's like, "Oh, I just wanna take a closer look at this painting or tapestry or whatever," and it's, like, this naked dude or whatever, and then she was just like, "Oh," and the guard was like, "You do you, honey," like, whatever, and I just, like, I don't know why, I laughed so hard. I'm probably immature, it's probably because I have, like, a high schooler's humor, like, I don't know. I just thought to me, like I just thought it was so funny how, like, quirky, weird, embarrassing stuff like that happened in this
Yeah,
story when, like, so
yeah.
much stressful, scary things were happening.
Yeah, well, like, when they were in the wine cellar and Holden, blew up the, his jail cell, and all the wine come tumbling down them, and of course, he's freaking out, and she's freaking out because he thinks that she's hurt, and she's freaking out because she's in a close space with him, and she can't breathe, and so she's obviously claustrophobic. I actually wrote it down, like, she's claustrophobic because she's like, "This room had plenty of air, and I was not going to be stuck here forever." So she's trying to gulp air down, and then she said, "I'm so strong, I could strangle you." And then he was like, "Tell me how you'd strangle me." And then she said, "I'd make Griffin laugh. Shock alone would be enough to distract you. And then I would squeeze the life out of your neck." And she said, he laughed so hard. His laugh was addicting. I wanted to chew on it, stuff it into my mouth so nobody else could have it. I'm like, what? That is the most strange example. It made me laugh so hard. I was cracking up. That was like the funniest thing to me.
I actually saw a fan art too of, like, the wine cellar area because
Yeah.
I loved that scene.
Mhm.
You bet. Accurate.
That's funny.
I like the chimera, however you say it, scene a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
it did. At first I just like I was not expecting it, but it really was like symbolic of even when everything is trying to kill each other, that if you show a little decency, that
Mhm.
these like horrible creatures could show decency too. Even though I feel like everything is a lie now because they're all just shape shifting fairies.
Yeah.
The tapestry scene was hilarious. Yeah, I just like it was so random. I was not expecting that at all. Especially because oh, what was the good guards? Was it Griffin? No,
Barn
I was yeah, it was another B name, wasn't it? Because wasn't it
Is it Barney? Why am
I
I
feel
I'm
like
questioning myself.
but he was so sweet. Like I liked him too because he was just like, I don't know what this chick is about, but I'm just trying to do my job. Like
Yes. It was cute. It was so nice. Something.
she definitely had some weird descriptors. Yeah. She wanted to be unique and then lick
And
his
then
neck.
lick his neck. Right. I want to choke it and then lick it. Oh my gosh. That's so
Lick
awkward.
his neck for Arwen. Is like climb a tree for Violet and Fourth Wing.
Yes. Yep. Oh my gosh. That's
That's
so
so
funny.
true. That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Okay. Oop. What other She's so Pete's, where did I go? Okay, what other books would you recommend for people who like this book? I got hardcore ACOTAR vibes. I
Right.
mean, I feel like most people read ACOTAR before they read A Dawn of Onyx.
Mhm.
It also gave me like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe vibes, as well as Outlander, like you guys were saying before. Um, I've listened to the first two audiobooks of Outlander too, and I was like, yeah, kind of like the way she's a healer, the medieval, all of that gave me Outlander vibes too.
Yeah, I was thinking ACOTAR, definitely A Quarter Mist and Fury, the second one, um,
Mhm.
because I relate Reese and Farah instead of other characters more
I
to these two.
Yeah, without giving, like, too many spoilers of ACOTAR just in case nobody has read that, I feel like Reese and Kane are very similar
Yeah,
in what they've
that's
had to.
how
Yeah, I love Reese, so I was like, "I'm all
yeah,
about Kane.
yep,
I'm okay with
yep,
this."
yep. And then I do, and just because I came off of like directly from These Hollow Vows, like These Hollow Vows would be a great um one too that I would recommend. And of course, a little bit of Beauty and the Beast, but there's really not a book to go with it. Just the vibes.
Yes. And her, being imprisoned.
Yeah.
I will say her like, at first too, like, when they're like, "Oh, yeah, you could be a healer instead. We won't, like, keep you in the dungeons anymore." And then, "Oh, yeah, you can kinda go and wander around." It did make so much more sense at the end because I was like,
Yeah.
"Wow, they're really not worried about her." But to me, her being trapped there under these conditions and where it's like, "Oh, yeah, you can go wherever, you just cannot leave."
Hmm.
ACOTAR vibes, Beauty and the Beast vibes, like,
Yeah.
very much. I was just like I also am like, I would not be upset, but I did understand because at least she was very close with her family,
Yeah.
like, she
Yeah.
w her family was nice to her, so that to me did make a little bit more sense
Yeah.
than a different book.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yep, I read that, okay. Um, even, like, I just read Powerless by Lauren
Oh yeah.
Roberts too. That one
Hmm.
too, I would recommend.
Yep.
Okay, finally, here we are, out of 5 stars. What is your rating? Okay, I am between, like, a 4 and a 4.5, like, 4.5.
Hmm.
I really loved it, and I feel like it's setting up a lot for the 2nd book, and I just I'm all in. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was different enough and unique enough, but not too confusing. I thought it was easy to follow. Um, and even with all the hype, I still really loved it.
Yeah. I am sitting at a solid 4. I loved it. I my 5 comparison is like obsessed. Like I want to buy a t-shirt, I want all the merch kind of thing to where, I'm like obsessed. So 4, I love it. I would read it again. I would listen to it all over again. Like this is something I could read every single year. Like I loved it.
Mhm.
Love the story and I can't wait to continue on. So like almost like book 2 if it turns out to be amazing could raise it to a 5. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I
it
think
could create a fandom.
that's where I'm at. Like, at first, I'm like, I don't wanna, like, say it's a 5 because, yeah, I feel like, I got my feet in and
Yeah,
I could make that dive, but
yeah.
I need the next book to know if, like, I'm all in or if I'm like, I got my feet wet. I liked it, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so I totally get that. I just, like, I couldn't believe how attached I was with it. Like,
Mhm.
I was like it kept me engaged, and I really liked it.
And it was a quick
Um
read. It didn't take me 4 weeks to read it. I read it in 5 days. So, it was a quick read, which is a good for readability,
mhm.
ability.
I don't feel like I have similar recs. That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Typo.
typo.
Whoops. Um, but like the banter in From Blood and Ash, I did hear that that was a good one. I have not read that series. That is I I have so many series I wanna read, and that one I heard is really Heather, I'm okay. You? We on here? So the first 50 pages had me intrigued. Then I was bored for so long, felt like nothing was going on, and then the romance and world building were not fleshed out. So I was added to action at and brought it up to a 3.
No.
Um, I rated 4 on good, but I'm closer to a 4.5. Yeah, I'm like in the in between on Goodreads. Yeah, I would probably right now, if I had to rate on Goodreads, would put at a 4, but the second book could change it cuz I feel like sometimes I feel like with the first book there are so many questions and you're meant to feel like you don't have all the answers. There's supposed to be a
Mhm.
lot of open-ended questions and then it starts falling into place. And depending on how much goes back and like puzzle
Yeah.
pieces fit in, that really decides if I like it.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
nothing really gets fit in or ties in, then it probably will stay like at a 4. But if
Yeah.
there's stuff that comes back into play, I don't know why. I love the hidden things like when you read it the first time and you had no idea and then you go back and you're like, "It was there. It was there."
Yeah.
So,
The
we'll
whole
see if she
time.
does that. Yeah. Okay, I have it at a 4, but I feel like it's truly more like a 3.5. I liked it a lot, but I feel like it was on the simple side as far as complexity goes, but super invested and excited for Promise of Peridot.
Yeah.
It's a 4.5. I'd read it again. Depends on the next book too.
Yep.
So the salamanders at the end, I kept imagining the little lizard from Frozen 2, but a giant. Maybe because I was tired. I don't know.
That's
See, I
funny.
was thinking of the like kimono dragons, like
Like Mushu?
right? No,
Just kidding.
the ones that eat people.
One that you people. Yeah.
They're terrifying. I don't know why I was thinking that, but because it's a salamander. That's where, like, just some things I'm like, this is where I need like fan art or I need I need pictures
Another
and stuff. Because
picture.
yeah, I'm thinking of
Mhm.
like that.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I got that.
Um,
Dragon.
dragon,
Dragon.
dragon, not
Not
lizard.
lizard.
I don't do that
Yes.
weird tongue thing.
Tongue thing.
I love
Ah,
Mushu.
so great. Me
Um,
too.
okay, and on with that note, will you read A Promise of Peridot, whatever it is? I have it pre-ordered and I hope to read it this month. I really do.
Yeah.
Um, I'm excited because it's supposed to be spicy, but I hope it's done well. Like I am not
Yeah.
just put spice in for the sake of putting spice. I want it to happen naturally, but now I'm like, I don't know. Is she gonna do another slow burn
Right.
throughout it? Or is she gonna rush right into it? I have no idea what to expect with that. But I heard the third one is supposed to be extremely spicy too. Um, but the third one comes out in October, so we really don't have to wait
Oh yeah.
that long.
No, it's gonna be Christmas before we know it.
Um I don't do that tongue thing, yeah. Oh, those are scary. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of kimono dragons. That's we saw them at Disney World, and I was just like, "I hate those things."
Ugh,
I don't know why I
ugh.
watched too many things on Discovery Channel growing up, and they creep me out.
Mhm.
I need fan art of his pet owl thing. Yes! Didn't
Oh
it sound
yeah.
like the most terrifying, weird thing? But then I'm like, maybe it's like Dobby, where it's like he's so ugly that he's cute.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I kept on like I was like, "This sounds weird as heck." Sam has to read Belladonna this month. I will try, if not for sure, next month. I am very, very, very excited for that, and I'm happy I got the special cover.
It's so
Uh,
crazy. I ordered it twice and got the white blank cover.
you
And
were
even
the
the lady
whole
that you sent me, ugh, it was like, "You already ordered this." I'm like, "Yeah, but I got the white cover. I didn't get the special cover."
they must have ran out of the special edition, and then so you got it, like, right after, and then now they must have been able to restock it because you were the whole reason I didn't order it, and my Barnes& and Noble didn't have it, and I was like, I want the pretty edition." And then finally with Keisha and everybody else, like, talking about it, I'm like, "I want it. I'm gonna buy it for myself for Easter." And
Yeah.
then I got the pretty cover, and I was like, "Yes."
I needed to match Foxglove. I haven't read either one of them, but I have the pretty one of Foxglove, so I need the pretty one. So I'm gonna try it again, and if I get the white one, I'll return it, and if I get the pretty one, I'll return the white one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you at all because I just I got lucky. I know
Yeah.
because you were like, "What?"
Back 'cause it was shipped.
I definitely want to read it, but I have a giant TBR. Yeah, I don't know if I'll necessarily read it this month, but I want to because um I'm really worried about spoilers. That and with how fast I read this one, I'm like, I should be able to read it in like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
I might have started Crescent City 3 yesterday. "Wendy, you're supposed to finish Throw to Glass." I was yelling at her the other day. I was like, You're supposed to finish," and she's like, "Eh, it's fine." I'm like, "Read Throw to Glass first." She's like halfway through the series. I second Sam reading Belladonna. I already know I'm gonna love it. I can't wait. Like, I even showed my husband the cover and he was like, "Oh, that sounds cool." And I'm like, "I'm very excited for it." I have to do Kingdom of Ash, Crescent City 2, and Crescent City 3. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot right
Mhm.
there. I wanna read Crescent City 2 so bad. I'm trying to start Throne of Glass this month. Um, April and I are gonna try to buddy read it because we need to get that done. Belladonna has
Yeah,
not restocked that cover. It's just random selection to get it at this point.
good
Whoo!
job, Sam. High five.
I am not a lucky person, so I am very thankful I lucked out on that.
That's
I have
awesome.
no idea, how I managed to get that. Maybe someone returned it and I happened to get theirs.
Right, yeah.
And then one last question, if you guys wanna theorize a bit, like, what do you think will happen in book 2? Um, I'm kind of curious because, like, I could have seen this as a duology, so the fact
Mhm,
that it's a trilogy, I really feel like there's so much we don't know yet that we're gonna find a lot of like her history out, maybe like who her parents are, more about the fairies,
yeah,
and all of that this next book. Um, because honestly, I feel like to have two more books, there has to be a decent amount to talk about. Um, it also sounds like, based on what the author has shared, that we might get some Mari and Griffin
that
point of views, and I have heard that the second book I think is a multiple point of view, so that'll be interesting.
mhm,
So I'm excited for it.
yeah, yeah, I think we'll see obviously more of Kane's inside his head, hopefully, so.
Yeah, did you listen to? Because our book didn't have that, right? Like, our book didn't have his point of view, but the
Right,
audiobook
but I did listen to it, yeah, but our book didn't have it.
yeah, but we don't
Yeah,
have the permanent sticker.
yes, thank goodness. Thank
Um, oh, shoot. Uh, and then we'll announce what book we're doing, for the month of May. Um Yes, I know. I'm so happy. It's so hard to wait though. I'm gonna try to get the audios and bust through the rest of Throne of Glass maybe. Yeah, I'm on the waiting list for Throne of Glass, but I'm not gonna get it anytime soon. So I'm like, well, I'll just start reading and then I'll re-listen to it.
I think it's on Everend.
Mine's not.
Hmm. Used to be.
Throne of Glass?
Yeah. Let me see.
Mine is not.
Just the ebooks. It
Yeah.
used to be. I used to have it saved, and then I was like, okay, I need to unsave it. Yeah, nope, not on there anymore.
I know. I can only get it like so I'm waiting on Libby and I'm like 300 and something.
Gosh,
Mom comes back to life, needs a cure, then dies.
that's funny.
I think
Oh my gosh.
Arwen is going to discover that she has way more powers, probably even stronger than Cain. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that because she's full. She's the last full
Yeah.
fairy. Um, I'm curious. I hope we learn more about her powers too. Announce now. Mine has it and it has a stupid sticker. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know why they do that. That's my least favorite thing in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to type it and I forgot to do that.
I forgot to grab mine. It's in the other room.
I have mine, but so wait. We're skipping to April. We go to May. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And our May book pick is Light Lark
Yay.
by Alex Astor. So this book's been out for a while now. Well, not a while, but it's not super. I literally planned on looking up like a bunch of details about this and I completely forgot. It has a 3.79 on Goodreads. It's a romantasy, has action, adventure, suspense, betrayal, and twists. I don't know if anyone's ever read this before. I've heard good things about it. And then it's a duology, right? Or are there more than two? I know Nightbane is out, but I didn't know if
Yeah,
more are coming.
I don't know. I think
Also,
it's
when you were talking about the beating heart or whatever, I'm like, oh, well, now you're gonna think about it with this book too, because it's
yeah. Let's see.
um I vote you announce it now for the few here. Yes. We have it picked, so second. Yeah, we had it picked, so we announced it now. After this book pick, we might do a poll and see what everyone wants. If there's been books that people have been wanting to do, but these are ones that we've wanted to read. So I'm glad you have it. Yes, I have
Yeah.
Light Lark. I haven't read it though. It's on my huge EBR pile. Well, you have 2 months, technically.
Yeah, exactly.
You have this month
You have
and
plenty of
all
time.
of next month. My niece loves it and highly recommends it.
That's
Awesome.
good.
Also on my
Ooh,
hoopla. Woot woot. Yay.
nice.
I have Nightbane too. Yeah, I want to buy it now because I really like the cover of Nightbane too. I like the blue and everything. So, yeah, we'll have more details about sprints, our discussion, everything like that. But we hope that you guys join us and we appreciate you guys joining us for this discussion. We had so much fun and when I get to reading A Promise of Peridot, if you guys want a buddy read, you're more than welcome to. Just message me. I'll try to make an announcement on a Tales of Starlight Instagram when I'm reading it. I'm going to try this month, but we'll see. Wendy, that's the book reader's creed. I own it, but haven't read it yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I I'm getting bad. I did not just order, like, 6 more books. They were on sale, and I want them. Dang series gets me, but thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you hopefully soon. Good night, guys.
Bye.